seated. Everybody got their mics on? Thank you, Deidre. All right. We'll go ahead and welcome our newly appointed member, Mr. Troy Hollingsworth. We appreciate your willingness to serve, and we're going to call on Mayor Michael Johnson to come up and officially swear you in, sir.
Oh, good. If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Troy Hollingsworth,
I, Troy Hollingsworth,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
perform the duties
perform the duties
of Planning Commission member
of Planning Commission member
of this city,
of this city.
and that I will support
I will support
and defend
and defend
the charter thereof,
the charter thereof,
as well as
as well as
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of the state of Georgia
of the state of Georgia
and the United States of America.
and the United States of America.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Hollingsworth. Ward 3, Troy Hollingsworth.
Here.
Ward 4, Calvin Waters.
Here.
Ward 5 is vacant. At large, Taryn Bivens. So the November 18th, 2025 Temple Planning Commission meeting. You received those in your packet by email. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to accept.
We have a motion by Mr. Doster to accept the minutes as printed. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Mr. Waters. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. The minutes are approved as printed. Item number 5 on your agenda, the status report on council action taken from the November 18th, 2025, Planning Commission meeting.
We had 3 requests. The first request was for rezoning and annexation by Billy Jack Bell with ISG Incorporated to annex and rezone one tract of land, parcel number 01170039B, 48.03 acres on US Highway 78 in Haralson County. This property is currently zoned County Unincorporated District 1, and the request is to rezone it to light industrial to accommodate an industrial park. This property is just east of the county line and city limits, land lot 175, District 6 of Haralson County. There was a motion by Ms. Powell to table this item to the next Planning Commission meeting, and a second by Greg Doster. The vote was 4-0. Tonight, the project will be represented again at tonight's meeting, so no final judgment was on that. Our second request was by Seth Brown with DBA Holdings LLC on a variance to encroach upon the 50-foot buffer to build a single-family residence on Lot 63, which is 169 West Woodland Manor in Deer Creek subdivision, parcel T0300700193, land lot 181, District 6. There was a motion by Taryn Bivens at the Planning Commission meeting for approval and a second by Greg Doster. Your guys' vote was 4-0. At the council meeting, there was a motion by Councilmember Walden to approve the variance request, a second by Councilmember Bracknell, so the vote was 5-0. The third item was a request by Seth Brown of DBA Holdings LLC for a variance to encroach upon the 50-foot buffer to build a single-family residence on Lot 69. Address is 141 Creek Creek Crossing Lane and Deer Creek subdivision, parcel number T03-007-0199, land lot 191, District 6. There was a motion by Calvin Waters to recommend approval of the variance request and a second by Greg Doster, and the vote was 4-0 by the Planning Commission. The council voted, there was a motion by Councilmember Walden to approve the variance request, second by Councilmember Bracknell, and the vote was 5-0.
Thank you. Any questions for staff on the report? All right. I would like to direct the Planning Commission's to item number 7 on our agenda. It's hold a public hearing on the request for rezoning and annexation made by Billy Jack Bell with ISG Incorporated. We'll go back to item number 6. The requirements for zoning applications for the City of Temple require 2 public hearings. We had the first hearing during our last Planning Commission meeting. The second hearing was with the City Council at their regular meeting, so we have met the requirements for 2 public hearings. We advertised our meeting tonight as a public hearing, and it is listed on our agenda as a public hearing. With the Planning Commission's approval, I am recommending that we go ahead and hold a public hearing tonight. Is there any objection by the Planning Commission? Okay? In view of that public hearing, I'd like to read a section of the zoning code here. For each application, the applicant and proponents of the application shall have no less than 10 minutes for presentation of data, opinions, and evidence at the public hearing, and opponents of the application shall likewise have a minimum of 10 minutes for presentation. The proponents of each application shall have a collective minimum of 20 minutes for their presentation, and the opponents of each application likewise shall have a collective maximum of 20 minutes for their presentations, unless these time limitations are waived by the discretion of the presiding official. Since we've already had 2 public hearings related to this application, we're going to use those requirements in the zoning code. So we'll have a maximum of 20 minutes presentation for and a maximum of 20 minutes presentation against. So if there are groups that want to speak for or against, if you want to get together and get your remarks together, so it's 20 minutes, you can certainly take the time to do that. Any objections to that from the Planning Commission? Okay? Moving to item number 6, request for rezoning and annexation by Billy Jack Bell with ISG Incorporated to annex and rezone 1 tract of land, which is parcel number 0117-0039B, 48.3 acres on U.S. Highway 78 in Haralson County. This property is currently zoned unincorporated, District 1, and the request is to rezone it to light industrial to accommodate an industrial park. The property is just east of the county line and city limits, land lot 175, District 6 of Haralson County. Any comments from staff?
No comments.
No comment.
Okay? All right. Mr. Bell, would you like to come up and present, please, sir?
Yep.
Yes, good evening. Good evening.
There you go.
Billy Jack Bell, Industrial Solutions Group, and I am here to respectfully request that the 48 acres that is currently zoned agriculture, which is not currently in the City of Temple, it's in Haralson County, that it be annexed into the City of Temple, as well as be rezoned to light industrial. I have, for the last 30 years, specialized in industrial real estate, and I've seen projects all over the state, all over the country, and that's really given me the opportunity to understand what works, what doesn't work, and what quality is and what quality is not. I'm here today to present what I am confident is a very, very high-quality opportunity, a very, very high-quality project. I can and will, after I present, show you all pictures of other properties, other projects that we have completed. But the long and short is, I'm assuming what happens. This is a commercial corridor, US Highway 78, not State Highway, United States Highway 78, State Highway 113, Interstate 20. All three access points are controlled by the Department of Transportation, Georgia Department of Transportation, which means that you all will not have to have the burden of improving those roads. That is on the state. I understand that traffic is a pain for all of us, which is why when we design these projects, we work closely with the Georgia Department of Transportation to make certain that what we do addresses the requirements necessary. Industrial Solutions Group is me, and I take what I do incredibly personally. And because of that, you will find that I will be an incredibly good neighbor, and that what I'm going to do here is going to be in keeping with what everybody else here should be desiring, which is great jobs, high-paying taxes, high-quality projects, lots of landscaping, sidewalks, A-cell, D-cell lanes. And so just in general, when I look at this project through the lens of a industrial real estate specialist, and so in this case, the fact that we are off of the interstate, a mile down Highway 113, you take a left, you're on United States Highway 78, 3/4 of a mile, that works. That's 2 turns. That's great proximity to the interstate. With regards to the traffic, it is going to be absolutely inconsequential. I heard people saying, hey, getting to 20 is pain. It is. But a lot of that's because people are having to commute out of the city, out of Temple, out of Carroll, out of Paulding, out of Harrelson to get on I-20 to go work. What we're going to create is an opportunity for people to have jobs here, quality jobs here, where they can stay and participate in school, be involved in their kids' activities after school, and then spend their money here and not have lunch in Douglasville or in some other place, but have lunch downtown Temple, have hotel stays here in Temple, create the impact as far as infrastructure will be minimal. Compared to residential, this will be far, far, far less vehicles. The roads that will be inside this project, inside this park, will all be private roads. We will build the roads, we will maintain the roads, all infrastructure to service these buildings and to service this park, water, sewer, we will be paying for that. We'll be paying for the upgrades. I heard a comment last time wisely that water is an issue, absolutely an issue, which is why people should be seeking people who are looking for solutions, which is what I'm here to do. We will be looking to increase the water capacity necessary for the park, which I imagine the city will be able to piggyback off that too. That will be at our cost. We'll bear that cost. Crime. Industrial parks don't commit crime. People don't go to work to commit crime and then leave. The fact that these are private roads and great quality companies means that they could have security guards. If they have anything that they're concerned about, they can hire private security. We can also close off the roads. We can gate the roads, which you can't do on a public road. You cannot close those off. So there are things that we can do to secure the perimeter of the property. As far as the neighbors, we are absolutely going to address that. We're going to put an 8-foot privacy fence up between us and all the neighbors. We're going to highly landscape, put trees in to help block the neighbors and out of sight, out of mind. That is our goal. We are looking to walking up and down the road now. I believe I heard that last time, that was a concern. So people will have dedicated places to walk. I'd heard sidewalks being mentioned many, many times, even as one of the opportunities for T-SPLOST money to be used for. We'll be putting about a half a mile of roads in and a half a mile of sidewalk in. We will put A-cell, D-cell lanes in. We will work closely with Georgia Department of Transportation. As far as taxes to the 48 acres now, they're paying $4,800 a year in taxes to the city of Harrelson. I'm sorry, the county of Harrelson. Temple gets 0. As far as the quality of what may go there, that would be a concern to me. You know exactly what we're doing. You've seen projects that we've done. So this is an opportunity for Temple to control that as well as to receive the tax dollars. I spoke with Zachary Smith, who is the Haralson County head appraiser, and we are, after discussing what we're doing, he has estimated the taxes to be $750,000 a year, which is significant over the $4,800 that's currently, which is great. That's something that will create additional opportunities here for the citizens of Temple. It'll also allow for other businesses to continue to grow. There's restaurants here. This will give them an opportunity to serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Downtown, drove through there again today. It's beautiful. It needs some more vibrancy. It needs more jobs. It needs more people. This will bring more people. This will bring more jobs. So I'm incredibly proud of what I do, and I am going to be a very good neighbor. I'm confident of that. I've got other property in the city of Temple, and the fact that I am out here all the time, personally responsible for this project, should give you all a strong comfort level that the person you're dealing with is not from Dallas, Texas, not from Chicago, not from New York, but lives here in Georgia and takes great pride in what they do. So let me show you a few of the projects that we've completed elsewhere. After watching Bowden win the state football tournament last night, we were talking football with Carroll EMC today, and somebody had said, I can't wait to see Carrollton play Buford. And we started talking about how nice those facilities were. This project's in Buford, Georgia. A big amount of the income is not coming from taxes from the residents. It's coming from commercial uses, such as this. This is Lanier 985. This is a 3-building park, very similar to what we're talking about. High quality, multi-tenant, lots of glass, lots of landscaping. This is an aerial view. This is a project we're working on in Locust Grove down 75 South. We've just completed. We've got leases out on 2 of the properties now, 2 of the buildings. It's also a 3-building project. High quality, tilt-up construction, lots of glass, highly landscaped, very professional, attracts great jobs and great companies, which is what we're after. This is a site plan which shows that we have a variation of different size buildings. The reason we do that is we don't want to compete with ourselves. Just like if somebody built a residential subdivision and everything was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, you keep building them, you kind of make it tough and you compete with yourself. So we want to have different offerings so we can attract different companies, both local companies, regional companies, national companies, and international companies. This is Noonan 85, Shenandoah, down 85 South. If you took US 27, you'd run right into this park. It's a 2-building park, private roads, private streets. Same high quality tilt-up construction, lots of glass, lots of landscaping. We have 3 companies in each of these buildings. These are pictures of the interior. This is the office. We'll build speculative office when we build spec buildings. Timing is very important for these tenants. They want to be able to move in quickly, and so we spend the money up front to put lights in. We put dock equipment in. We put office in. All of these typically have to be added on to, but it's speed to market. And so we will put significant investment to make sure that when somebody walks through, they know they can start working very soon. This is an aerial of it. It's now 100% leased, but to give you some idea how the park looks. This is Commerce 75. It's in Cartersville, Georgia, off 75, Bartow County. Two-building park. Very similar architecturally. High finishes, tilt-up construction, a lot of glass, lots of landscaping. We have 2 tenants, one in each building. This is an area with a site plan to give you some idea of how it lays out, how it works. Functionality is super important to us. It's important to our clients and our tenants. Brazelton, Georgia, 5. We've done 2 different parks up here. Phase 1, we leased to an SK supplier called Duck Yang. Same very high quality tilt-up building. That's all we do is tilt-up buildings. We like them because they last forever and because they're beautiful and tenants like them. Here's a rendering of phase 2. Glass, landscaping, sidewalks, great circulation. We have 2 tenants in this building. Some aerial photos as well, give you an idea of what it looks like. All these parks are identical in construction, landscaping. We like to use landscaping that's native to the area. It's important to us. My grandmother loved butterflies and hummingbirds, and I do too, and tenants are so tough these days. Getting labor is so tough these days that we want to create an absolutely pristine, beautiful environment where not only we attract best-in-class companies, site plan. These are 2 buildings as well. You can see they're different sizes, different layouts to attract different types of customers. So what we are offering to the City of Temple is the opportunity to control the property, annex it in. We do have the property next door, which means that I invested to make sure that that's high quality. Anything that we do in the because that's what our tenants look for. It's a huge investment and one that we take very seriously, and as a result, we want to make sure that it is the best park, the best project anywhere in the area, because without it, you cannot attract top-end clients and customers. So this is what we are looking at on the 48 acres. It's 2 buildings. This is a rendering I've designed, are fronting on US 78, where they look and feel like a Class A office park, highly landscaped, lots of glass. It's going to be incredibly professional. And so I appreciate the opportunity, certainly look forward to and hope to have the opportunity to work with all of you all for decades to come. And if there's any questions, I'm here to address them. Thank you.
Planning Commission, any questions for Mr. Bell?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Mr. Bell, I have one question. You mentioned earlier that you own the adjacent parcel that was approved by the city council on July the 7th for light industrial. So you will develop that tract similar to what you've shown tonight?
Correct.
Okay. In doing that, if you developed that first so that we could see what that looks like, and then you came back to get this second track approved at a later date, what kind of issues do you see with that? Why do you want to develop both tracks at the same time?
Good question. One of them is because the lift to bring utilities is going to be significant. The cost of doing that is going to be significant. And so to have a larger project allows us to spread those costs across a larger piece of property, so we get economies of scale. That's part of it. The other part is all of these buildings are all different. So which site would get developed first would depend on which tenants we attract or where we feel the market is. So each of these parks are built before the 80 acres. So that's going to be tenant-driven and market-driven. The other part is owning the 80 acres, much like any of the neighbors, I would be very concerned about what's going to happen next door. Selfishly, I want to make sure it is super high quality. And so are the tenants. And the tenants are going to ask me, what's going on next door? Who owns next door? What is that going to look like? I like to tell them it's going to look exactly like this. So it helps answer questions. It helps us to carry the burden of the utilities. It also helps us create a bigger sense of place. The city of Temple, people coming down US 78 are going to absolutely know when they're in the city of Temple, because they're going to see a highly landscaped professional park when they drive by, and it's going to look like y'all spent millions of dollars, but you're not going to have to spend millions of dollars.
Does your plan currently have two different entrances to Highway 78 from each park, or are you going to do one entrance?
It has two separate entrances currently,
Okay.
and we will be working with GDOT on how that works out.
And I assume that when you file that application with GDOT, you'd have to show the intent to bring the second one in as well. as they
Correct.
look.
Yes, sir.
So final determination on entrances would be up to the DOT.
100%.
Okay. Any other questions from the Planning Commission? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bale.
Thank you all.
Anyone else here tonight? We'll move to item number 7, hold a public hearing on the request for rezoning annexation by Billy Jack Bell with ISG Incorporated. Anyone else here tonight to speak in favor of this application? Okay, no one else to speak in favor? Anyone here tonight to speak in opposition to this application? Okay, sir, come on up. Please state your name for the record.
My name's Colton Lehman. I live at 87 Brookshire Drive in the neighborhood that's directly against this 48 acres. You can actually see my house in one of the pictures. It's that close to the property because my house is pushed further back on our little parcel of land than 1 acre. So all the houses in Brookshire are roughly 50 feet off the street. When William Collins and Tony Collins were developing the additional houses, they asked if I could push the house further back if I wanted to, and I said yes. So my house is way closer than a lot of these houses, so it is a big concern for me. I understand Georgia is one of the fastest growing states in the country. The industrial is booming here. I work for Caterpillar, so I know about it. I'm involved in it quite heavily. My big concern is just the buffer, right? I mean, I got a baby on the way. I got a 9-year-old daughter living right at an industrial park with a swimming pool in the backyard. Yes, my yard is fenced in, but we all know accidents do happen. Kids wander. I mean, we all remember when we were kids. I am concerned about crime. I am concerned about all the things that this is going to bring. But my big concern is getting it just further off the property than 50 feet. 50 feet from the parking lot is literally what it shows. You can see the back porch and my back fenced yard and literally see the parking lot just through the tree line. And the trees aren't thick, so it's not like it's going to be an extremely large buffer. I'm only one person. I don't know a whole lot about petitions and things, but I'm only one guy. I went through the entire neighborhood of Brookshire myself, knocked every single door. Every adult in that neighborhood signed a petition to change it from 50 feet to 200, the buffer be increased. Nobody's questioning Mr. Billy Jack's integrity or the quality of work he does, but imagine it being in your backyard, raising a family in a small town that you know, my wife was a teacher here. I do a lot for the city of Temple. I try to do everything I can and be an outstanding citizen. I'm just asking that it be changed from 50 feet to 200 feet. I understand the tax revenue and things like that to get better schools. But I would also ask, hey, let's think about it, because there are a lot of obstacles as far as crime, water, and traffic, and all of those options that we got to overcome and look at. But I would ask that it be tabled to take more considerations on something as big as this project that we got going on. I really like his recommendation on, hey, what if this first section gets built, then we see what that looks like and move forward, maybe do another hearing. But that is all I got. Thank you very much for hearing me out.
Thank you very much. Anyone else to speak tonight? There was another hand over here. You're good? Gerald, come on. Please state your name for the record. Thank you, sir.
Gerald Powell, 162 Enterprise Drive, Temple. Well, I've been to, you know, most of all the meetings, so I'm still displeased. The first 80 acres is right in my front door, and, you know, I'm totally against it. I'm just concerned about, I mean, what he have is nice. It's nice, but it's nice enough for Temple. My concern is the traffic right there at Lakeview, Harmon Road, you know, because it's right between Lakeview and Harmon Road. So when we come out in the morning, it's just traffic. You know, it takes 2 or 3 minutes to get out. And if it's a wreck, it takes longer. You have to go out, come through the red light. So, and you know, if this place, if it brings hotels or whatever, it's not gonna be what we're looking for, because we have truck stops. So it's gonna bring the type of clientele that we're not ready for or what we don't want. Y'all know what it brings. It's not like it's a tourist attraction here. So it's not gonna bring people that's on vacation to come to stay in this hotel. It's gonna bring that, you know, that trash, and it's gonna bring it in Temple. It's gonna be more crime. So my thing is, I like to know, as the citizen of Temple, what has ISG and the city of Temple in the last 30 days, what communication have they had concerning the water, concerning the sewer, concerning the police protection? What communication have Temple had with ISG in solving those problems? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Anyone else? Ms. Powell, please state your name for the record, please. Thank you.
Karen Howell, 580 Old Bremen Road. I have the same question that Gerald just had. On the last meeting, it was quite a few questions that we didn't get answered. And I'm just looking, we're all looking for some more clarification about what communication has gone on since the last meeting to answer the questions. What new information can the city of Temple give us on the police, on the water, on the sewage? Has there been any further consideration or any information, any data gathered as who's going to handle certain things? I mean, the water, the sewage, the police, the fire, those were questions that was brought up at the last meeting. And we're just wondering, did you guys, the zoning or the city council or administration, or what type of conversation has gone on in the last 30 days to give us any type of answers to the questions that was asked at the last meeting? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Powell. Anyone else wish to speak in opposition to this application?
Kristen Etheridge, 40 Brookshire Drive. And again, I spoke at the last meeting. I'm coming to you today as a citizen of Haralson County, not as an employee of the City of Temple. And I just wanted to reiterate some of my concerns that others have already kind of addressed. Traffic, which I know regardless, traffic is bad, but it's going to get worse. Noise pollution, light pollution, not knowing what type of businesses are going to come into this development. I love Mr. Bell's presentation. He's done great work in all these different locations through Georgia, and it is impressive, but just not knowing what type of businesses might be located there. I know with the first property, there was a development agreement which limited what types of businesses could be there. I hope the same would be considered for that, although some of it was kind of vague. For example, in the previous development agreement, one thing was no businesses that had a lot of noise or loud noise, and that's kind of subject to opinion what loud noise is. I am concerned about, again, the light pollution and noise. I hope that y'all consider a greater buffer. When all of us moved into that neighborhood, we are surrounded by agriculture on both sides. I know that times change, you know, places grow, things are different, but also when you invest in a home, you're looking at things around you and what's going to be there. And we all purchased there with agriculture, thinking it would be a quiet, peaceful place. So I hope you would take into consideration some kind of clause where the buffers would be larger to protect our peace and our home. I know a lot of people are concerned about property values and that sort of thing. Personally, I'm just concerned about the peace of myself and my neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Question for staff before we do another comment. I believe it was brought up in our last meeting that staff is recommending the same development agreement for this parcel that the city council adopted for the first parcel. Okay,
Correct.
thank you. All right. Anyone else wish to speak in opposition? Come on up, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all's time here tonight. I apologize for the way I'm dressed tonight, but I just left working on a car, so.
If we could get your name?
Joe Vincent, 87 Brookshire Drive. So, again, just like everybody else mentioned here, this is going to be in our backyard. You know what I mean? This is not something that we're taking lightly. It's in our backyard. Our families are having to look at this and deal with whatever may come with this as well. Last time I came to the meeting, I spoke about the crime. I'm a law enforcement officer, and that's a big concern of mine. And, you know, one of the things that was kind of skimmed over with the gentleman here was crime, like it wasn't that big of a deal. But for this community, it is a big a deal. I do appreciate the nice work that he does, but everything that he mentioned here tonight was what's going to benefit the company, what's going to benefit the business, and, you know, the beautiful landscaping and all this good stuff. Well, sure, that looks good for the tenants that are there, but what about for the community of Temple? That's not going to benefit Temple at all. The promise of tax revenue will only come when the tenants are there, which, you know, who knows how long that's going to take. As far as the, you know, the companies that are going to be in there, you know, they can promise to you guys that they're going to be a good tenant, but, you know, whatever that tenant may be is just going to be the highest bidder that gives them the most money. It ain't going to be what brings peace to the neighbors of the community of Temple. It's going to be who puts the most money in his pocket. I would like to, you know, end on the crime thing. So if you guys look in the city of Atlanta, you know, it was like the city of Temple was, and look at it now. All the industrial buildings, all the crime, all the murders. Atlanta is one of the highest murders rates in the state. In the nation, honestly. Police are responding to Villa Rica hotels all the time for prostitution, murders, robberies, suicides, all that. That's what those hotels bring in a community like this. And as well as the neighborhood of Brookshire Drive, there's going to be people who can't afford cars who are going to these businesses, who are walking walking by our houses. I mean, you know, they're going to be walking next to our cars, and you can promise, you know, all day long that the community is going to be, or the jobs are going to be full of good people and it's going to be good jobs, but every job has bad apples in those places. And, you know, we're trying to, if not prevent it, keep it away as far away from our property as possible. Another thing was mentioned was traffic. Every morning you guys notice that the traffic is horrible at 113 and 78, even at the interstate. They already got one industrial complex approved. Imagine adding this second one. So that first one, I wish I could have been here to you know, try to, you know, propose not even doing that because of the traffic and the crime. We've got that happening right now. We don't need another one. You know, the traffic's going to be horrible. The response to police is going to be horrible because they've got the city of Temple to deal with. Now they got this approved industrial complex. Now we're going to be adding a second one. The city of Temple doesn't have the police force to handle that. And all the tax revenue that you're going to be supposedly getting is going to be going to pay for more emergency personnel, more city workers. So you're not really going to be, you know, it's not going to be advantageous as much as it sounds like it's going to be. You know, it's going to take a long time to train these law enforcement officers to deal with this crime. He mentioned security guards. The security guards can't do. They have no criminal capacity. They can't uphold criminal law at all. So they're going to have to call law enforcement out there for anything that's criminal in nature. The security guards are going to protect those workers, not the city of Temple, not the community of Temple. So I just wanted you guys to think about that. You know, I wish I had more time to give you statistics and talk to you about crime rates and stuff like that. And that's just, we just don't have that time. But thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benson. Anyone else? Ms. Powell?
I was waiting for an answer to the question that what discussion has happened in the last 30 days from the last meeting we had between the zoning, city council, whoever is all involved, on the question that we were looking for answers for about, you know, have the city in any capacity has spoken with Mr. Bell to give us any type of clarification with the question that was raised at the last meeting within the last 30 days. Has there been any communication with the city and Mr. Bell has there
Yes.
been any meeting between the city?
There have
and
been
Mr.
multiple
Bell?
conversations about water and sewer capacity. Mr. Bell is aware that we have water issues in the city of Temple, and any upgrades that would be necessary, he would be required to do those upgrades. It would not be at the cost of the city of Temple. It would be at the cost of ISG to make any upgrades necessary. As far as first responders, no, we have not had any discussion about first responders. I have had the conversation with the police chief. Our population is versus how many police officers that we have, and I haven't really gotten a clear answer about that. And as far as the fire department is a county fire department, so that would be up to the county to decide whether or not we needed more firefighters out here or not.
Okay, just one last question. So at this point, what percentage of clarification do we have on anything since this whole situation started? A third, a half, a fourth, a fifth, sixth?
I can't give you a percentage, but we're not at the point of construction plans yet. All discussions as far as upgrades that are necessary happen at the point of construction plans. And it is something that our engineer would discuss with ISG's engineer, and they would work out what would be expected.
Thank you.
Anyone else to speak in opposition to this application? Mr. Bale, a question for clarification. There was discussion by some of the opponents about a 200-foot buffer. What are your comments about a 200-foot buffer versus the?
If it was a residential use or some other use, it's,
The buffer is actually 100.
there's no buffer, and it's 100 feet.
So the buffer is 100 feet?
Correct.
Okay.
And And I am looking now at what we can do to additionally put another row of landscaping, maybe give another 10 feet so that we can have additional landscaping on top of what's already there. But there's a reason you have ordinances and you have codes. This has been thought out over and over and over again. These standards are put into place between residential. I heard light brought up. I'm sensitive to light. We will have downlights. The lighting will be directed for safety reasons only. We're not a car dealership, so we're not trying to light up the sky and let everybody know we're having specials. It is to create a very safe environment so when people are leaving the office or coming to the office when it's dark, that they have and feel safe and that they are safe. With regards to noise, there are also ordinances that determine the levels of noises we can have and the level of noises we can't have in light industrial. So we will be very sensitive to that. With regards to the type of tenants, I do my own due diligence on these tenants. So it isn't about the highest bidder because the investment's huge. And because the investment's huge, I'm not taking a bad apple because I'm worried about the entire group, the entire project. And so it is for profit. I'm not a 503c, but that's what allows me to build a super high quality product is because I am very conscientious about it and I've been successful over and over again. And I get y'all's concerns. I absolutely do. I think you would be here for any zoning, regardless of what it was for. I hope you would be. I would hope you would have concerns about that. And I think you all are going to, at every single zoning meeting, have people that show up. It's a matter of who's doing it, what does it look like, and what are the benefits. As far as due diligence, I will go in and will go and do currently go into every business before I sign a lease with them. I make sure that the people that run the operation are high quality. I walk in the warehouses, I walk in the, I rent these products, right? So it's not just about the first lease, it's about the second lease, it's about the third lease. So everything I do is about the next tenant, about the next deal. And so all of that is with an eye towards quality, not just in construction, not just in landscaping, but in the tenants we bring. So I'm certainly here to answer any more questions, and I am sensitive to the concerns. I would be concerned if y'all did not have concerns, but I don't think there's anything that could be presented to you all today other than what's there that people are not going to show up and voice their opinion. That's good. That's healthy. We want people that have an opinion. That's a good community. And I have the same opinion. I want something high quality there. That's why I'm talking about this 48 acres. I want to make sure that something doesn't show up that is a disaster, that is a subdivision, that does tax more infrastructure, that does tax public safety, that does tax the police or the school system. So I appreciate the opportunity, appreciate the questions. And again, what I'm shown here, those are maxing these sites out, just so everybody knows. So this is using those buffers that are in place, but that's not to say that's what's going to go. It could be much smaller. We could have tenants that don't require these size buildings. So what I'm showing, I like to paint what could happen and then deliver something that exceeds expectations. So what you see is very transparent. You'll find that what I do is incredibly transparent. I'm easy to reach. I will be responsible for everything that's going on here. And the tenants, the quality of this project are paramount, and they should be for you all too. So thank you.
Thank you. Planning Commission, any other questions for the applicant?
I had one.
Calvin?
That's okay. These other parks that we've been talking about, how long have these parks been in place?
Some of these parks have been here 20 years plus.
Okay.
Yes.
How have they either maintained or exceeded your expectations from when you built them? Because from what you're telling me, I'm supposed to have a specific level of expectation. Has that been exceeded? Has that not been? What's the case?
Well, I don't know what your expectations are exactly, but every one of these parks has met or exceeded my expectations. as have the tenants. And that's because I am not concerned about the highest dollar so much as I'm concerned about the long game, the overall picture. It's not a quick, get somebody in there and then have somebody in there that's not a good steward. If you rented your house out, if you did VRBO, or you decided you were going to leave town, you're going to move to Florida, you would be very concerned about who the tenant was that was going to be in your house and what condition they were going to leave it in, and were they going to be a good steward. That's the same thing I look at. So every one of these projects has been and has done really well. Good question. Thank you.
Any other questions from the
I have a
planning commission?
question.
Ms.
Mr. Bellinger,
Bivens?
how many of these properties that you have built, I heard what Mr. Waters said about being there 20-plus years, I heard that answer, but how many of them are closed?
How so?
How many of them are no longer being used? How many of them have the tenants left? How many of those are in, vacant?
Oh, 100% of them are still active. We build these things to last forever. And so if we have a vacancy, we lease it up. So we do sign 5-year, 7-year, 10-year leases. So every once in a while, a tenant will grow. We like to grow them inside our portfolio if we can. Sometimes they shrink. We like to keep them if we can. But if they leave, we release the space, which means we go in and we completely clean everything up inside. It means we put new carpet in, we put new paint on the walls, we put new dock equipment. Anything that needs to be done, we will do. Also, we maintain these parks. We do the landscaping ourselves. We do all of the upkeep ourselves. We keep a certain percentage. We have CAM, which is called Common Area Maintenance. So a certain portion of the general funds that we receive, we put 5% of that away so that when things happen, when the pavement gets worn out, if a tree gets knocked over, whatever that is, we have the money to. It's a great question. None of them go vacant. They do for a couple months, but that's why we build multi-tenant products, so that even if somebody does leave, we still have tenants, we still have activity, we still have positive energy, we still have people who are making payments, who are continuing to participate, which helps in the safety, because if it sits completely empty and you've got a building sitting empty, then yeah, it could attract people that you don't want, which is why, while we're leasing these things, we will have the roads closed off to make sure that there is nobody in there that shouldn't be in there. We will pay very careful attention to everything that goes on.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Bale?
I have a question. To your knowledge, has there been any crime incidents in some of these locations that you currently have?
There has been some internal theft inside from people who have stolen people's, personal belongings, but no, we've not had any crimes. That is just, these are people that come to work. Also, the whole idea of there being people who are walking up and down who are working here, there's no public transportation in Temple, Georgia. I'm a fan of that. That means these people have cars. That means these people have jobs, they have houses. And so they are going to drive their car to work, drive their car home. So we are very conscientious about who's there.
Any other questions for Mr. Bale from the planning commission? Mr. Powell, did you have another comment, sir? You raised your hand. Okay, thank you.
I have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Okay,
You mentioned that you spoke with Haralson County, and they estimate about $750,000 in tax revenue.
Correct.
So how much of that goes to the city of Temple, and how much goes to Haralson County? I guess I'm kind of confused on how Haralson County is still involved if it's annexed into Temple.
So it's still in Haralson County, so they still receive their portion of the county taxes. The city would receive, just like as if it was in Carroll County or Paulding County, the city receives, on top of what Haralson County does, their portion of taxes.
Do you know about how much that is? I think at the previous meeting, you said it'd be about $90,000 a year?
$98,000 is what
Okay,
it's
I was
predicted,
just wondering
correct.
how much of the
Yeah, the city's portion would be
$750,000.
$98,000, correct.
Okay, thank you for
Yes,
the
ma'am.
clarification.
Absolutely.
yes, sir.
What is preventing you from, say, being a good steward of Temple citizens and just increasing the buffer sum for the citizens? I mean, we've got a giant footprint acreage, and honestly, there'd be a lot less heartburn and stuff for the citizens if it was just being a good neighbor
I do.
If we explore when we were kids, what's going to be a bigger buffer to keep my kid, because I want my kids playing in the woods and not be hooked to electronic, right? I mean, what's going to prevent you from doing just increasing that buffer? I think that every citizen here would be honestly okay with it if it just weren't looking at it. I mean, this gentleman here's been at every meeting and talks about it's going to be right across from his front driveway. I mean, you would feel the same way if it was in your backyard or your front yard, and your kids went outside playing every day when you live in a neighborhood not on a main road. It's gonna get rid of that family dynamic with it being in the backyard. What's preventing you from just being used to it, like, all right, I can increase the buffer? Because there's a giant footprint in Anchorage that can be utilized a little bit.
Right, so there are a few things. Number one, we'll be putting an 8-foot fence, so your kids are probably pretty athletic when they can jump an 8-foot fence, but that should serve as a deterrent to some degree. I am looking now and working with the engineer. It's a math equation, just like when somebody built your neighborhood, they needed some kind of return on investment or it's not financially viable. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm trying to figure out where that line is because I would like to be able to increase the buffer and we'll look to increase the buffer. But I can't tell you what that is right now because we're still modeling things and trying to find out what that looks like. But I absolutely hear what you're saying. The good news about this is all of these buildings will sit. So y'all are on a ridge, your neighborhood's on a ridge. There's a creek that runs through the property, which means the property sits below all the houses, which means when we grade the sites, they will sit below where everybody's houses are, significantly, 20 to 30 feet below. So we will also landscape the daylights out of it. We're not going to want to see you guys back there jumping up and down on the trampoline, or, you know, we want it to look professional. So we also want that separation from the neighborhood, just like the neighborhood wants separation from us. But if it's a neighborhood and the kids are wandering and there's construction jobs going on, you're going to have 5 years, 10 years of people building out houses. They're going to be exploring and doing all those things too. So I hope the fence will help serve not just as a buffer, but as a structural buffer between the two uses.
It's 100.
It's 100 feet. Yes, sir.
It's a requirement. To be 100
Correct.
foot.
Yes.
All right.
Good question.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Bell.
you
Any
all.
other questions, Planning Commission? No, sir. Okay, we'll go ahead and close item number 7, the public hearing. We'll move to item number 8. Consider making a recommendation to the city council on the rezoning and annexation request made by Billy Jack Bell with ISG Incorporated. Is there a motion from the Planning Commission?
Mr. Thomas, I'll make the motion. I don't think that we're gonna get anything. I don't think that the city of Temple has ever been happy with any business that we had really come in here. I really don't. Just because we wanna keep it small, and I get that. I've lived here, all my life, and my grandkids have graduated here. My great-grandkids are now here, and I get that. But I have to commend Mr. Billy Jack that he has showed up at every meeting. He's answered every question. He's not backed down one time. He's made himself aware and open to us. And just the fact that he's built things and he does not let them go vacant. I mean, at this point, I don't have any reason for us not to make the recommendation that we rezone and do the annexation request made by him. So I make the motion that we do.
So your motion is to recommend approval to the city council for annexation and rezoning to light industrial.
Yes, sir.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Bivens, a second by Mr. Doster. Is there any discussion?
I do want to make sure, though, that the city is standing on its ground, that we will do the same thing with this 40 acres we did the other. We'll have
Absolutely.
the same restriction.
Yes.
And that Mr. Randall back here, who is our codes person, who swore up and down that he would make sure that they did their variances correctly, will stand on that ground that the city does stand behind exactly what we're asking.
Okay. Any further discussion by the planning commission? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the motion to recommend approval to the city council for annexation and rezoning on the request by Billy Jack Bell, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Okay, the vote is 3-1 with Mr. Waters voting against, so the motion carries. Any other business to come before the planning commission tonight?
No.
Okay. Do I have a motion that we adjourn? I have a motion by Mr. Doster, is there a second? I have a second by Ms. Bivens. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. All right, thank you very much. Mr. Bale, this will go to the, and for everybody that would like to speak, this will go to the
City council.
City council on January 12th.
January the 12th. The city council meeting, January the 12th, here at 6 o'clock? 6:30. 6:30.
Nobody is concerned that it's rose-colored.
I am.
Green.